Welcome to another episode, everyone. Chipmunk from Hoover. Legend has it that he was a 12-year-old terror who terrorized South Central for some time at that tender age until it all came to an abrupt end. Let's get right into it.
With posturing little soldiers.
It's easy to crip to me.
How important is the money?
Is it not important?
You'd be a crip whether there was a money or not.
That's fine. Y'all think cripping got to do with money?
It ain't got nothing to do with money. That's protecting your homeboys. Watching out for one another. Some y'all don't do, y'all don't watch out. You wouldn't die for him, would you? You saying that now on TV, but you wouldn't die for him for real. I'd die for my homeboy.
Would you die?
Yeah, I'd die for my homeboy.
If somebody came up to you tomorrow, grabbed you and said, I got a job, a good pay for you, would that make a difference?
Come on, let's go now.
He ain't gonna stop me from cripping.
But you'd take the job too, wouldn't you?
Huh?
You'd take the job too?
I'm a crip at work.
Youth gangs, primarily black and Hispanic, are setting records this year. More than 160 gang-related killings in the Los Angeles area alone. Some, like Joker, survive attacks, though shot 5 times and paralyzed for life. Gang members say some of it remains traditional turf warfare.
It's bad. It's real bad. People dying over nothing, man. Over a neighborhood. You know, over.
And this is clearly back in the days. You can tell from the black and white, the video footage, that this is few decades old, maybe in the early 1990s. But this individual here is saying the same things that we're saying now, 30 years later, that it's stupid, that we're dying for nothing. They knew that back then, carried it on, still continued like we're continuing today. But people knew then that this gang banging nonsense was nonsense and something that was self-destructive. He just said it.
Something that they really don't own.
Okay. You have to copy your head there, little man. Okay. All right, you're just a little man, but you gotta do it.
Hey, what you guys doing all of this for?
We're checking you out, man.
Your dog, man.
It's a nice packet you got up there, buddy.
Your dog been biting people?
What
What do they call you, young man? What do they call you?
Chip.
Shorty's gonna be, what Shorty's gonna be, Shorty's gonna be, Shorty's gonna be
Eric Maestro Decatur, also known as Little Chipmunk, was born on July 27, 1982 in Los Angeles, California, to his mother, Glenda London, and his father, Arthur Decatur. He was one of 7 siblings, and his home life was described as unstable and tumultuous, to say the least. Early on, his father was in and out of the home, but eventually he disappeared for good. He grew up in the west side of South Central on 83rd Street, in an area known as the Shady 80s, because it was well known for its crime and gang warfare. It was different from other hoods on the west side who had a...
And Chipmunk, of course, I know him or know of him, of course I do. He was from A-Trey Hoover and grew up right there on 83rd. The Shady 80s is indeed what they call it. I have to correct some of the stuff that goes out on the internet, some of these channels that really know nothing about the city, but some of these people do their investigation. It's okay, because I might do something on Chicago. I'm not from Chicago, so it's all right.
More manicured and middle class type of look, but where Chipmunk came up at was known for its poverty, filled with rundown and dilapidated buildings. Everything negative that a child should never have to witness coming up, Chipmunk had front row seats and seen it all. His mom did the best that she could raising her kids in the rough area, and she was one of the few white residents who lived there. Chipmunk attended Manchester Elementary School, where he was known for his outgoing personality, being good with numbers and creativity. He was even a part of the school's gifted program due to his high level of intelligence. And when he wasn't at school or at home, you could catch him playing basketball at the courts located on 88th and Hoover. But not having his dad around left a void in Chipmunk's life, and it made him feel lost. Unfortunately, he would seek out a father figure in the same place that so many other young inner-city kids turn to, the streets. And by the age of 11, he joined the 8 Trey Hoover Crips, who had a reputation for being one of the most ruthless and infamous gangs in all of LA. After being established in the 1960s, they initially called themselves the Hoover Groovers. But as the Crips gang made its rise throughout the 70s, spreading throughout Los Angeles, they ultimately made an alliance and became the Hoover Crips. Despite his young age, Chipmunk repped his gang to the fullest, pushing the line just as hard as any OG Hoover. Despite his small stature, Chipmunk loved to fight and would go at it with people much larger and older than he was. He was known for riding his bike up and down Figueroa and Hoover, pressing anybody that looked unfamiliar and wasn't from the neighborhood. Internet personality Bosco100 of the Queen Street Bloods even recalled running into Chipmunk when they were kids because they were pressing him and trying to get him to join the Hoovers.
They end up telling Chipmunk, they told Chipmunk, they were like, get him, like get him groove. I remember I was hearing he like get him groove, get him. So he fired on me. Like he was little, he fired on me. Man, I must have turned around and kicked his ass. Like, I kicked his ass. I grabbed his hair, I ain't gonna lie, I pulled his hair. Like, he's that like little long hair shit. I pulled his hair. We was out there squabbling. Then they start jumping us and shit. My cousins start running shit. I start running too. We end up getting up out of there.
By 12 years old, Chipmunk had become prolific at stealing cars and would teach his other young friends in the Hoovers how to do the same. He was with the gunplay as well and loved his .38 revolver, robbing unsuspecting people in the neighborhood and having shootouts with the Hoovers' numerous rivals. In 1995, he would be featured on national TV after he was arrested on the television show LAPD Life on the Beat. Chipmunk and another young Hoover member were accused of going on a crime spree that day that included attempted murder, robbery, and jacking somebody for $25.
Chance the top of your head there, little man. Okay. Chance the top of your head there, little man. Okay. All right, you're just a little man, but you gotta do it.
Hey, what are you doing all of this for?
What do they call you, young man? What do they call you?
Chip.
Chip? What's this, dude? What's that? Been smoking the chronic?
No.
You got any tattoos, Chip?
Yep.
The officers know that each of the gangs has a characteristic tattoo.
Damn, this is bad, really. It's really sad, bro, when you think about it. The Chipmunk was very young, and we all failed him. It's emotional. We all failed him, bro. This is a little boy. Sitting there with, with narcotics, out here carrying weapons. Look at a little kid. The hood failed him. Black men failed him. The Hoovers failed him. Society failed him. The gang culture failed him. Black people failed him. We have to do better. There's no way we should not even accept someone this young as to be a gang member. There's no way. What can he do, bro? He's a kid.
There.
Stand by.
Mother?
What is all of this for?
We're just checking you out, man.
That ain't right.
No.
What ain't right?
Ain't wrong.
It's all good, man, all right?
Yeah.
How old are you, young man?
Hey, well, dang. How many times have you asked me this?
You're gonna get yourself in trouble one of these days, aren't you? Huh?
Hey, Benny. Stand by.
Mother? Do you know the young man that was with him?
They just left my
Okay. The little young ones, 12, 13 years old, they're trying to prove themselves. So they'll go out, they'll put in the work because they know nothing's going to happen to them.
He was arrested and locked up at the Los Padrones Juvenile Hall, and only 3 weeks after his release, he would meet a very tragic fate. On the night of August 26, 1995, he was chilling on the block with the Hoovers when a rival gang pulled up on him in a car with somebody holding a handgun in the front seat and somebody holding a rifle in the back seat and started firing multiple shots into the crowd. Chipmunk was hit multiple times and died on the scene. His death hit the Hoovers hard, and they vowed to get revenge for their fallen young homie.
I seen gangbangers die at 12 years old. My nigga Chipmunk from 83rd Street, Hoover. 12 years old, it fucked me up. But it didn't change me though, it made me more angry.
Word started going around that it was the UG Crips who were responsible, as well as the Rolling 90s. In the weeks following Chipmunk's death, there were shootings up and down Western Avenue, and retaliation shootings that took place on Hoover and Figueroa, causing multiple gang members to lose their lives in the shootings, as well as innocent bystanders. But unfortunately, tragedy would continue to hit the Decatur family because 2 of Chipmunk's sisters would also get caught up in the gang culture of LA, and they repped the 8 Trey Hoovers just as hard as their brother did. But choosing that way of life came with deadly consequences, because on the morning of July 29, 1998, Chipmunk's sisters Danielle Decatur and Felicia Decatur were chilling in a parked car with another member of the Hoovers named DeMar. They were sitting on 81st Street, but little did they know, their opposition had been riding through their neighborhood looking for DeMar. The 3 teens who were out on the hunt were in a stolen vehicle. Their names were Terray, Curtis, and Donald. They accidentally rolled past the car that had DeMar and Chipmunk's sisters inside, but once they realized who it was and got sight on them, they quickly spent the block ready to kill. They pulled up next to him with guns drawn and yelled out a derogatory term for Hoovers, calling them snoobers, before opening fire on the vehicle and killing Danielle Decatur in the process. Felicia sustained injuries to her arm from shattered glass, and DeMar made it out unharmed. The 3 shooters were members of the Playboy Hustler Crips, rivals to the Hoovers. After killing Danielle, they returned to the apartment of Curtis's girlfriend, Shantae, but they didn't disclose to her what they had just done. Shantae would later learn about Danielle's death, and she confronted Curtis about his possible involvement, which he confessed to his girlfriend that him and his 2 homies were responsible, but he told her that they weren't trying to kill.
Yeah, and that's often how it is in gang culture as well. Yes, Chipmunk's sisters ended up becoming members as well, and he's relaying the story. One of them were indeed gunned down, and that's how it is often. They were not even the target. The target escaped free, and then someone else loses their life. This is how it is. And oftentimes, even in the family and gang culture, if you are a member, your brother is a member too, or your sister is a member too, family members from the same gang. Sometimes a different gang, but oftentimes the same gang. And one tragedy after another in that family. They're all young. This is what gang banging is. This is what gang banging culture is, taking out 12-year-olds.
Danielle, and they were really aiming for DeMar. About 6 months later, the couple broke up, and Shantae made an anonymous call to the LAPD. She told them everything she knew about Danielle's death. Eventually, all 3 men would be arrested for first-degree murder. Curtis and Torrey would both receive life sentences, but a jury was unable to convict Donald. And despite seeing her sister murdered right in front of her, Felicia would continue to rep the Hoovers, a decision that would ultimately lead her to spending time in prison down in Arizona. And after being incarcerated, she would soon learn a lesson that so many other people realize when it comes to the gang life, that no matter how much love you receive when you're on the streets, and no matter how much it seems like a family, when you get locked up, for a lot of people it's out of sight, out of mind. She would post on social media about how she had no love or support being locked up, and saying that if people could donate anything, it would help. She dreamed about getting back home so she could be with her kids, but sadly in 2015, she would pass away due to complications of leukemia at only 31 years old. Unfortunately, Chipmunk's story isn't rare. It's a common occurrence in poverty-stricken inner-city neighborhoods throughout America, and the majority of those stories have one common theme: no father in their lives and a lack of guidance. and even one of the most ruthless and deadly individuals in LA gang history would speak on this epidemic. The infamous Monster Cody of the 8-Tray Gangster Crips did an interview where he was asked about how not having a dad growing up affected him. He stated that he believed things would have been different for him and he would have chose a more positive path in life, and just the thought of what could have been in his life brought him to tears.
And my mother couldn't protect me from that. Ray couldn't come get me all the time, and Dick never came. But you know what I mean. So,
do you resent that?
To a great extent, no doubt about it. I hate him. You know what I mean? I hate him because I think about what I could have been, you know, and I can't dig that, man. You're running out of your kids, you know, father thing, man. But that's just heavy to me now, you know. That's just heavy.
Would it have made a difference, do you think?
Yeah, there you have a grown man, a true, tried and tested gangster, shedding tears in adulthood. He's not a child anymore, but the pain of not having his father there is still there. And this is what happens when you leave the family, when you don't stay and raise your children. They feel it for a lifetime. Monster Cody here believes that he could have been something different had he had the right direction and guidance from his father. And the chances are he could have. Statistics show that kids in a two-parent household are most likely to succeed. And that's why you can't judge a person. You never know what someone's going through, what their story is, and why they are the way that they are. You look at Monster Cody and say, well, he's just a menace. He's a gangbanger. He's a thug. But as we can see, he's a human that has feelings and has human feeling and has a heart. And in his estimation, was just raised wrong, did not have the proper guidance and direction. And had he had it, his life would have took a different direction. Many of our lives would have. That's why we have to guide and direct the youth now. Even if the fathers are not in the homes and in their lives, we can be there for them and change the trajectory of their life.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have to go to the street to find the street people, you know, to find,
Despite the Decatur's family tragic history with the Hoover.
I'm sorry, I feel it, bro. I feel it. I know the pain. I know the pain. And people from the outside look in and just, as I said, think that these individuals are just monsters. But they just don't understand.
It hasn't stopped their affiliations, and it's said that Chipmunk has a niece who's one of the top frontline members. Although the majority of the Hoover sets no longer claim Crip, due to the fact that they were constantly at odds with other Crip sets, so they decided to start their own entity. Due to the fact that they were constantly beefing with other Crip sets, so they started going by the name the Hoover Criminals, mostly doing away with their blue colors and wearing orange to signify who they are, along with their infamous Houston Astros hat with the H on it representing Hoover.
We consider ourselves Crips when all we do is kill ourselves Crips when all we do is kill Crips. That's why we turned criminals. That's why we turned criminals and started wearing orange. Whatever happens when I walk off this house, I know my enemy could be it could be coming to get me, but I wouldn't give a fuck because I got my heat. So if anything happened, I'm gonna shoot this nigga.
And just like they did with Chipmunk back in the 90s, the tactic of recruiting young kids still persists to this very day, with members as young as 9 years old, because it's a lot less likely that they would receive serious time, even if they're committing violent acts like robbery and murder. When Chipmunk was accepted by the streets, he felt like he found a family, a place to belong, But unfortunately, this decision came with very tragic consequences, and he never got the opportunity to become a man and quite possibly change his mindset for the better and become a more positive individual. And Eric Decatur, he was only 12 years old when he died. Rest in peace, little homie.
Indeed, rest in peace to Chipmunk, man. I'm familiar with this individual. I'm familiar with this story, of course. It was a big thing when he was killed. He was killed in a brutal fashion. I don't believe he had turned 13 years old yet. He was on his way to being 13. He was standing out there. So dudes pulled up, shooting at the Hoovers and gunned him down. And it was sad, and it's still sad. This is one of the situations that bother me in history. It's because he's so young, and we have to do better with our youth. We have to protect our youth, bro. We cannot even recruit. It shouldn't be recruiting anyone for gang banging, but if you do, you should not be recruiting youngsters. That should be out of bounds. A boundary needs to be set, and anyone who goes beyond that boundary, their whole gang needs to be wiped out. They have people this young gang banging, they need to be fucking wiped out. Period. Wipe them all out. Stay safe and stay free, people.